The new teaser was released and I was out eating, so I'm sorry. Let's take a look at it and then we talk about the changes.
This was not the path she was destined to walk. But as the destinies mend rifts in time, and man etches fate anew, she'll grace us with her presence, and rise to the challenge as the most powerful being in the worlds of.
Okay, I most likely made a cut there, because the rest was just, it kept the music going, which is amazing, but no value to us. Let's talk about this. So, first of all, the character that we get out of here, the character that you saw, this one here was already spoiled. Oh, it's Sigma. I was honestly wondering if the name was Ligma or Sagma. So, I wasn't sure when I saw it appear, but okay, that explains a lot. It's just a mix of both. Nice, I like it. Okay, so we have actually seen this spoiled on the roadmap with the sword. I'm not gonna show it now. I've shown it in the past couple teasers where I talked about what character to expect, so this is not unknown. New weapon, and the roadmap got extended by 2 weapons, so I think it's pretty certain that this weapon will have an evolution, and only one evolution, but we saw something very interesting. Playing this at half speed, we can see how the weapon works. It's honestly really interesting. I want to stick around where there are just less enemies. We can see it does a couple of strikes, and then it does this vertical strike that hits a ton of enemies. Aside from this, there is nothing too special to the weapon. We can see it has these multi-strikes, which honestly might just be the animation for a single strike. But this one is random, which reminds me of v0.11, which randomly strikes enemies if you critically strike. And I assume this is just the attack pattern, the normal attack pattern of this weapon. And then it does this vertical strike. Now, one very interesting thing is, we can see at the bottom, do you see that, the vertical strikes? My assumption is when this weapon critically strikes, then it does this vertical strike. So it has nothing to do with a special cast, but when it crits, then it does that. Also seems to be the same position. We never ever see these strikes here without an attack animation. This actually has 3 to them. That is weird. That doesn't fit my theory. This one only has 2, but they are not overlapping. Never mind. They might be individual strikes. Yeah, and you can actually see they disappear at different times. So those are individual strikes. And either the person has very little critical chance, if my theory is true, or this just works different. Now, here's something that is what is going on. I love it. This is amazing. But what does this mean? I think this is a special ability of the weapon, and it even seems to be from the character, maybe, because the character also disappears. Wait. Hold on a second. Did you see the end there? Here. Look how big the gems are. Do you see that? That means the camera is zooming in. Oh, I think just the entire camera is zooming in, right? Is it though? The monsters seem to have the same size. No, the monsters also become bigger. Okay, so the entire camera is just zooming in. Never mind, forget about this. Like, because the alternative could have been it's a portal to another place where it zooms in and then you get there. But for now, I will assume this is just a weapon, given how many enemies are suddenly dying, and it's just a special ability triggered in certain situations. Maybe you're even able to press a certain button. Now, looking at the character herself, we can see it's a mix of a knight and a queen. She has a gem over here. This might be the lore behind it, how it triggers the special ability with the power of the gem or something like this, don't ask me. But yeah, all in all, I'm very excited, and if this is a special ability that we saw here, if this will also be a thing for more than just this weapon. One thing that I completely forgot to cover is the increase in employees that Ponkel had. So originally it was only one person, the developer. I know you don't say developer that way, so here it is. Developer. I just had an idea, but I just don't know what it was. Either way, after that you had the community manager. So there were 2 people. The last time I talked about it, there were 4 people, and now there are 7 in total. And just looking overall at the quality of this, the voice, the music, the animation, this also goes back to Vampire Survivors. Luca, this is a developer, who had a fantastic idea. He posted on Twitter that he was looking for someone who could animate a still picture. The theory back then was for the title screen, the main screen of Vampire Survivors, but I think this is pretty much what he was looking for maybe here. Not saying there couldn't be more, that the main title will be animated, but this is pretty much this, where you have a still picture and you move the hair and the stuff around. It's the same way that you know from League of Legends with the old login screen that would show a skin or a character and it would move around. That is based on a picture and incredibly tedious to do because I attempted that once. We also know for sure that one of them is an Android developer, so we can expect that there will be a mobile version. And for the rest, I have no idea. But one thing is given, if you employ that many people, back then at 4, I was still saying, okay, they might want to round up things and after that they may also drop them, which is not nice, but if you obviously communicate this, that it's just for a limited time that you employ people, that is obviously totally fine then. However, with a total of 7 people, that is a lot now. Like, if you know you would stop, then you would just say, okay, I know I will stop, the limit is reached at that point, so I have no rush, I will just get the bare minimum to reduce my own workload, but you don't reduce your own workload by hiring 6 more people. Like, a total of 4 with Luca made sense, since the community manager, then you can have someone to help development of the game, you know, and checking for the beta and stuff like this, as well as the engine we shouldn't forget about. But 6 additional people is quite a lot. So I can't wait to see if there will be a story after Vampire Survivors, or if the game will be kept in development. And I know some people say, oh, you should stop when it's at the best time. Dude, that time was long ago, before Golden Axe and stuff like this. This is where a stopping point could have been. At this point, you can just go ham. You can even keep developing stuff with more maps and more stages and more progression. You always have to keep in mind that some of the very successful games that kept people playing for years were games that always were rather similar, but you kept progressing. So a game that I'm thinking about that is simple is, for example, Clicker Heroes, where you pretty much do the same stuff, but you upgrade, then you ascend, later you transcend, and you start over again. And while this is all in all repetitive, it still feels satisfying to go through it if that is something for you. And if not, hey, you can stop the game once you get to Golden Axe or you got the main stages unlocked or stuff like this. Because the way I view it is, the game is already finished, we got the worth of it long ago, and we are right now in extension period where I just want to see as much as possible added pretty much, and that it continues for I don't know how long. But as I said the last time, one thing that I would also love to see is the developer going into a different game and just seeing what he does. That was it for today. Don't forget to subscribe because I will be uploading content on the beta. I will go through it just like a normal person would and we discover it together. Then I will do special videos on, for example, the new character that is released, no movement challenge, limit break videos. Feel free to just check around a little bit in the channel. If you like Vampire Survivors, then there's a good chance you will also like the content. And for the rest, make sure that you're subscribed. And yes, also those that think that are subscribed, but are actually not subscribed. I constantly get comments that they didn't know they were not subscribed. Enough of that. See ya with the beta.